I'm going to introduce our next speaker. And they keep on saying that, oh, Nabat Babantu, hey, we don't like education, hey, we don't like sessions like this. You do know that some of you have been here for the last 4 or 5 hours? You do know that some of you have got other things to do today? And that you are still here, which shows how hungry you are. So please keep that spirit. Let me introduce our next speaker, Mr. Noko Manyelo, Acting Head of Communications from the Department of Small Business Development. Briefly give us a conversation, a talk, and then we are done for the day. Who's making that woo-hoo noise? I want to give them a prize. Okay. Can we get a prize for? Please. I'm an So, man. All right, we'll make a plan to get the prize to you. Thank you so much, man. It's energy. So, over to you.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I accept everything that you have said, except the word brief, because I am from the National Department of Small Business Development, based in Pretoria. Actually, as I walked through earlier on, I almost got coffee and biscuits because of this green. I was mistaken for someone from Nedbank. But let me take it off just to make sure that I dispel any myth that I'm from Nedbank, because we share the branding. Similar colors. There you go. You can see the National Department of Small Business Development. Ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly recognize Ntate Charles Mpofu from Nedbank and the leadership from Nedbank, but also my brother Bulelani for giving us the opportunity to speak to you and the team from the Township Enterprises Alliances. And I think I must confess that I am so jealous, because we are the custodians of small businesses and cooperatives in this country. But Nedbank is enjoying this platform, and it's because of the partnership that they have with TIA. So I am sure that when I go back, I am going to have coffee with our Director General and push for a partnership with TIA. Okay, let me, oh yes, my name is Noko Manyelo. I almost forgot, and I'm from the DSBD, but I also know this place, Linyenye, and actually the surrounding areas, because I worked with Castle Matali as his spokesperson when he was the Deputy Minister for the Department of Small Business Development. So I know my way around here, and I think I might recognize somebody here. Because I don't have a profile, so they didn't read my profile. Let me just say I'm the former spokesperson to Castle Matali and many others. But I think today's session is just one of those amazing sessions, I have to be honest. I know that because it's led by the bank, it has to talk to the finance and how we manage the finance. So the relationship with money, our relationship with money is critical. One wise man once told me that if you don't handle money with care, it can find you very handsome as a gentleman or beautiful as a woman. But when that money leaves you, believe you me, the before and after would not be pleasing. Just as much if it can find you with nothing and it comes in and all of a sudden they use the words like glowing, you are glowing and whatnot, because the complexion will change. That's money. So our relationship with money is critical. So I'm going to speak about funding support that we have from the department, and I'm quite cognizant of the time. So I'm going to be very brief, as I have been told to be brief, but I have already assured Bulelani that I'm going to be part of this project so that I at least get to have more time, like the rest of the other speakers going forward. So I want to tell you quickly about cooperatives before I speak about the township support, the support that we have for township businesses. So with cooperatives, there is a myth that cooperatives are for old people or they are for agriculture. You know, people in cooperatives, they are farming and doing all sorts of things and all that. But I want to tell you something. In this country, we have a high level of unemployed graduates. And some years back, the department took me to Spain, and I had to learn a certain model there, a cooperatives model, which was quite different from the South African model. And I think that we should adopt that model. Because the model was about bringing young people, skilled young people together. So I'm just thinking aloud to say, imagine if we were to take all these unemployed graduates from whatever the database, where the central database is, and group them into cooperatives. Remember, these people are graduates. They are skilled. They have the knowledge. So if you bring a lawyer and an accountant and an engineer together, I mean, an engineer will create something. A lawyer will be able to come up with the contracts and all the legal agreements and whatnot. An accountant will make sure that the monies are managed properly. Can you imagine? That is a recipe for an excellent business. Because we know that in most of our businesses, you are the lawyer. You are an accountant. You are the cleaner. You are everything in that business. You alone. But you don't have all those skills actually. It's just that you have one skill and you compromise on the rest. Simply because you cannot hire the skills. So with cooperatives, imagine if we were to really go out and say, maybe as the provincial government of Limpopo, we are calling upon all the graduates to come together, or maybe a district of Mopani, we are calling all the graduates together that are unemployed, we are grouping them accordingly, and we come up with something like that. That will revolutionize how we do business. But let me tell you the good news. It's not just about how you start that. The good news is, from the department, we now offer what we call blended finance. Blended finance is a mixture of a grant and a loan. But our maximum loan amount is 15 million. 15 million. But guess what? The grant component for cooperatives is now kept at 2.5 million. Did you hear that? The grant, the money that you don't have to pay back, is kept at 2.5 million. So say for argument's sake, you were to apply for 5 million because it's a cost-sharing grant. So if you are to apply for 5 million, we'll give you all the 5 million, but you only pay back 2.5 million. You get it? And that is why I'm so passionate about cooperatives and how we misunderstand and how we misrepresent what they stand for. Because imagine if you bring the doctors together, the nurses together, all the professionals, and I'm not talking about agriculture. And I'm not taking anything away from agriculture. And maybe I will speak about agriculture in a minute quickly. But let me also talk about manufacturing, because the lady that was here, she manufactures detergents and all that. But let me quickly talk about detergents. Sorry, not detergents, but manufacturing. We have a specific scheme, the Small Enterprise Manufacturing Finance Support, SMEDP. So that scheme is kept at 15 million for manufacturers. Ne? And I want you to understand, You are a manufacturer, you can qualify for a maximum. So you can apply for anything. You don't have to apply for 15 million. Remember, your needs, you need to do a proper needs analysis. So when we say it's kept at 15 million, it doesn't mean we are employing you to apply for 15 million. You can apply for 1 million, you can apply for 2 million, you can apply for 30 million, but we'll give you 15 if you apply for 30 million because of the size of your business. But this is what I want you people to understand, that in manufacturing, there is this value chain. And people don't understand the power of the value chain. And the value chain, it is in all sectors. Maybe let's leave the detergents alone and maybe talk about just milk, the product milk. Say you want to produce milk. Where do you get milk? From the cow. And the cow is part of animal farming, which is now not what you sell at Pick and Pay. It is the milk that you sell at Pick and Pay, which is the final product. But you get it from the cow. So which means somebody can start a farming project to produce the milk. But guess what? From milk, you can also produce other things, like your cheese. We won't talk about yogurt and other things, but there are many products that you can produce. So now when you talk about cheese, you're already talking about agro-processing, which is another sector. So now imagine if the cooperative model that I was talking about, you were to have one co-op that is in animal farming. Remember, from animal farming, you can sell the milk, but you can also sell the meat. You get it? And then you have the cheese, you have the yogurt, you've got all these other things. You've got the transportation of all these products. But you also need an abattoir of slaughtering these things. So a cooperative can be solely focused on, it's not doing animal farming. No, you are not looking after cattle. You are simply slaughtering cattle. And that is a business on its own. Because you'll slaughter, you'll package, and you'll measure the kgs and whatnot, you'll do the labeling and all that. And then you'll take it to the next, and then the truck will come and pick it up. And so it's a co-op that actually manages the logistics of this thing. So the person who's doing animal farming doesn't have to worry about logistics. So you understand the power of the value chain. There is just so much. Because of time, let me quickly talk about the township and rural enterprise support that we have. We are supporting people that are doing salons, hair salons, people who are into bakery and confectionaries, people who are doing butcheries and cook food, the open air restaurant. Open air restaurant, I mean, bomme ba le ba o rekisha ko strateng. They are sitting there, they've got a nice setup, and you can walk in and there is fresh air and all that. That's what I call the open air restaurants. Ne? So we also have those that are into automotives, like those who are doing the exhaust, ba fixa the exhaust, the tires, and those little things, and electrician and all that. All those people, we give them 1 million rand through this scheme. 1 million rand. Imagine if you are running a hair salon, I don't think that you really need 1 million rand. The scheme is kept at 1 million rand. But yes, maybe if you want to open multiple salons and whatnot, I mean, it is your call if you are that innovative. But you need working hair dryer and the clippers and so forth and all that. Maybe they can cost you 100,000 or 200,000. So you apply for that. You apply for what you need. And with that as well, we have the same principle of a cost sharing, which is kept at 100,000. Because we had analyzed that indeed most of these businesses, they start very small. So let me quickly tell you something. Today, many speakers spoke. They spoke so well. And there is something that is going to happen, or something that is not going to happen. Others here are going to say, wow, he spoke so well, and do nothing. So, for those who are successful, the secret lies in the courage to start. The courage to start. Not to praise me and say, no. Hey, man. If you can take the pen and paper, if you can go online and apply for the Spaza Shop support fund that we have, which is now at 100,000, 40,000 for stock, 50,000 for the assets and equipment, your fridge and whatnot and all that, and 10% for business development, your training and all that. We have just launched it 2 months ago. The minister launched it in Soweto. For those who are in Spazas, I'm just trying to quickly accommodate those. You can just go to spazashopfund.co.za. The application is so simple. And less than 5 minutes, you are done. It's so simple. We are trying to simplify things for you. Let me tell you something. If you do nothing, nothing happens. If nothing happens, nothing happens. I think the essence of it is that you need to take action. Because if you really do nothing, nothing will happen. And nothing will happen if you do nothing. You got it? Thank you very much.